Hello everyone, it's me Luigi Marinus and today I'm gonna review Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yes, I was always excited for this movie, even though I'm not a die-hard Sonic fan, but I played some of the games like Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania, and I kinda like Sonic Prime as well. But looking back at the first two movies, I actually really like these movies. I honestly don't think we would have gotten a trilogy if it wasn't for the Sonic redesign, and if they kept the 2019 version. I thought the first movie was pretty good even though it's kinda just your buddy road trip movie, but with Sonic in it, but I thought it was fun. Now the second movie is definitely an improvement, even though it should have at least 10 minutes shorter because it didn't need a wedding side plot, but I liked the new characters like Tails and Knuckles. They were a fun addition to this film series, which the post-credit scenes of the movies always tease one of the new characters. And this movie is no exception. But be warned, there will be spoilers. I also thought this movie was gonna build up to become the conclusion to this epic near-perfect trilogy, to not get franchise fatigue, which I was worried that could happen because it usually happens after the third movie. I liked how this movie started off, which I knew what was gonna happen because it was in the trailers, and I kinda knew how some scenes would go. I'm not saying it was predictable at all, it made a lot of sense, and luckily the trailers didn't spoil the movie, and most of the scenes you had to puzzle or figure out when they could take place. I really liked Shadow's backstory, and while I am not at family with the character, I thought his bonding with Maria was cute, and it was also an emotional backstory, and it was sad when she died. Which you can feel Shadow's pain. And speaking of him, the trailers made him look like how Sonic would have been if he didn't have any friends or family, and that's exactly how he was in the movie itself. Which was pretty interesting. I also really liked the scene where Sonic, Tails and Knuckles go to Tokyo to meet Shadow. But he seems to be much stronger than them, so they go hide in at some kind of restaurant where dancing puppets are put on a show. And I thought it was funny when they made a reference to Pokemon. The movie also kinda reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because of Shadow's backstory, and it was darker than the first two movies. It also reminded me of Toy Story 3, but that was mostly animated. Sonic and his friends learn more about Shadow. Unfortunately, Walter also dies during this scene, and it was a very sad moment. Sonic then goes to Robotnik and has to work together with Robotnik to find out more about Shadow, while Robotnik meets his grandpa Gerald Robotnik. Throughout the movie I liked their bonding, because he never had a family, and the montage was funny, and yes, the Christmas scene that was heavily advertised in the trailers and TV spots was in the movie. Eventually Robotnik does betray Sonic during the movie, and so that Shadow can join Robotnik. I thought the bonding of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles was also better than in the second movie, but that makes a lot of sense since they are more together in this movie, and Tom and Maddie are helping them as well. I really liked that the whole family is this time together to help Sonic on his mission. They need to prevent Shadow and Robotnik from destroying the world. I was very sad when Tom got hurt during the movie at the gun headquarters. I thought he was gonna die, and I almost cried because Tom was the closest to a father for Sonic. During the climax of the movie, Sonic and Shadow fight each other in space. And oh my god, if the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2 ever does a similar climax like this, then it will easily top the first movie. I was surprised that we didn't see much of Wade in this movie, even though he was one of my lesser characters. I mean, I like him, but I prefer Tom and Maddie and Robotnik and Stone. They are more interesting characters, even though I still liked Wade and thought he was pretty funny, and he also has more screen time than Knuckles in the TV show, which is why he should be more of a side character. But I liked what they did with his character in this movie, like it was more of a joke where Sonic needed to get Master Emerald from him to become Super Sonic and fight Shadow in space, but they later have a talk with each other sitting on the moon. Kinda reflecting the scene when Shadow looks at the stars with Maria, and Shadow gets a redemption arc during the movie. I liked when Shadow and Sonic both fight together to save the world from getting destroyed by a super weapon. And I'm even glad Robotnik himself got a redemption arc during the movie when he betrays his grandpa Gerald Robotnik and sacrifices himself, which almost brought me to tears because he was such a great villain, and it's sad he might not return in the fourth movie. Tails and Knuckles help Sonic get back to Earth and the world is saved. There was also a post-credit scene when Sonic meets Amy, but unfortunately she didn't have any voice likes for some reasons, which I thought was weird. One of the things I liked the most was the message about family and friendship. The movie was also more action-packed than the first two movies. It was also way darker because of Shadow, but it's still funny sometimes. It was also very heartwarming and wholesome, just like the first two movies. I liked Sonic, Tails and Knuckles bonding with each other. And Tails had a lot of gadgets on the mission that Tom and Maddie got to use. Robotnik was still funny just like in the first two movies, and he also kinda broke the fourth wall when he met Gerald Robotnik and said something like, "It's like we're the same actor in a movie." I just really liked it. They were very self-aware in this movie. The new song Run, it was good, but nothing can beat Stars in the Sky, especially not when you're Adam rolling. As for flaws, no, there were no flaws in this movie. What can I say? There's no unnecessary subplot, the movie is well paced, the humor was good, the characters were all likable, so yeah, this is one perfect sequel. It knows that people want to see some masterful storytelling and well-developed characters, and this movie delivers exactly that. It has top-tier storytelling that is an original story with a great message about love and family. Also, I don't even blame Figaro's edits for overpraising this movie, but don't say this movie was better than everything in the whole world, because that's too high praise. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about this movie being in my top 10 favorite movies now. But it was really that good, honestly. And these movies make me want to play some more Sonic games, which is a good thing. This is now my second favorite video game movie besides the Super Mario Bros. Movie. In conclusion, if you're a fan of Sonic, you should definitely watch it. If you're not a fan of Sonic but at least like the first two movies, I also recommend you to watch this movie. As for the next video game movie, Minecraft, I am excited for it but still kinda skeptical for all the good reasons though. Because it's still a live-action movie, but I hope it does well at the box office, since I heard the live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie was so bad that it flopped at the box office. Which is why we didn't get an animated movie until 30 years after that movie. So let's hope the same doesn't happen to Minecraft. But I can't believe we're in a world where video game movies can be this good. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3 gets a 10 out of 10. Yes, it was a masterpiece. And I'm planning to watch this movie in theaters one more time if I haven't watched it by the time this review got uploaded. I hope you enjoyed watching this review.